Hello there, Internet. How's it going? Welcome back to the show. My name's Pat Dan, and today we're going to be playing a little bit of Drawception. Okay, you know how it goes. First and foremost, we're going to check out our profile and see the game we played in the last episode of this series, because I want to be able to look back at the games and and have that sense of cohesion. So you have a reason to come back and watch the next one. Okay, so this one, it started off with the prompt Derpy Lollipop. It's a official Drawception prompt that started a game. And then we got this lollipop with his tongue sticking out. I do really like that one. I'll hit him with a haha. I love that one. Crazy lollipop. This one's good as well. Crazy faced lollipop. He by Duck Duck Goon. And I don't like the way he's looking at me, to be honest with you. I don't like it. He's a little off putting and he looks like he's about to do something that I don't want him to. And then this person misread it and read it as her, he. And then I interpreted that as someone laughing, like, like, like attributing the he to her, that like this is her, he. And he as in like a he, he, you know what I'm saying? And then we got woman with a big mouth. Clearly it didn't look like she was laughing. I didn't do well enough on that front. Got woman with a big mouth. Ginger woman wants big kiss. I would say, in the grand scheme, a pretty solid game. Things have gone worse in the past. Things have certainly. Oh, I don't like that. We got what is this? A gorilla wearing a gorilla wearing safety goggles. I'm gonna say gorilla wearing safety goggles. That's kind of that's what I'm getting. Okay. Two robbers break into her house and make out too. All right, we can do that. I guess I'm not happy about it, but we can do it. I lied. I'm very happy about it. This is everything I've ever wanted. Okay. Um, I did want to. I wanted to have a a topic that's been on my mind for a while, something I've just been meaning to vocalize, and I want to talk about that today. Just put it out into the ether. It's one of those things where if I say it in the way I mean it, or in the way that I think it in my head, not necessarily the way I mean it, but the way I think it in my head, it's gonna sound like grandstanding and it's gonna sound like I think I'm better than everyone, but that's not the case because the reason it irks me so bad, it's one of my pet peeves, and the reason it irks me so bad is because it's something that I do as well, so I can relate to it, and that's why it's so upsetting. Um, but to tell you the truth, everyone's human and it's okay to make mistakes. So I can't fault you for doing something anybody could do on accident or just not think about. Um, but one of the things that's always put me off, I don't know, just to segue smoothly into this, I would say one of my biggest pet peeves is, how when people say, like choose kindness, like you'll hear like a motivational speaker talking about how to be nice to people and be a positive presence in your life. It's a good sentiment. I appreciate it because it's something that I'd like to do in my life. So I like hearing other people preach the same kind of thing because it's a good thing. You want to be nice to people in your life, um, and the way they say it kind of irks me, and I'm a bit of a purist, and I have a very specific likes and dislikes, but I hear a lot of people say this: choose kindness. They say, you know, in your day to day life, going around when you see people when you see people on the street, meet new people, choose kindness. Um, you know, that's a weird thing. You might be thinking that's a weird thing to get mad at. Because it sounds so sweet. It's a nice idea, It choose kindness. That sounds great. Like, why wouldn't you want people to choose kindness? And I'm like, here, agreeing with you. To be honest, I do think it's a nice idea, but the way it's said, saying it that way, something about it puts me off. And the reason it puts me off is because I think it encourages people to pretend to be nice just to look better. Because once it becomes popular to quote unquote choose kindness, people are going to want to fit in. People are going to want people to know that they are following the trends and like being cool and choosing kindness. Look how nice I am. I'm doing all these nice things. And they're doing it to put on an image, to make themselves look better, right? And this is obviously isn't the case for everyone. It's a very specific subset of people that upsets me. But nonetheless, it upsets me nonetheless. and and I find it to be, I don't know, quite upsetting. Even to the point where clearly I can't think of a different word to describe it, just because that's such an apt description of it. But I I really 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 don't like the idea of being nice to people just to make yourself look good. And I feel like it's a very 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 common thing to do. Um and what do I mean by this exactly? I don't know that I can put it into words, but I feel like if you know what I mean, you'll be able to understand. Um, I'll try and explain it. Basically, like if you see somebody who you don't really like, but you're thinking in the back of your head, I can't be mean to this person because everyone will then see me being mean and they'll think that I'm a mean guy. And no, I'm not a mean guy. I'm choosing kindness. Look how nice I am. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out of my way, out of sympathy, go up to this person, give them a conversation, grace them with my presence, because it's such a blessing to get to talk to me. It's like, oh man, they should be so, so happy to have the opportunity to speak to me. I'm going to give them the privilege of listening to them, giving them the privilege of hearing them out, and treating it in that way to where you're doing something for them. You're such a great person. Look at this great thing you're doing. But you're not doing anything, because you should give everyone, no matter what, it should be a baseline. Everyone deserves to be listened to. And to make yourself feel, oh, I'm so cool. Look at me. I'm doing this thing that's just a normal thing that everyone should experience, that I think is, I think should be standard. And I don't think you should feel like, you're doing a saintly deed by partaking in such an activity. Just in my humble opinion, as a mere drawception player, that's what I think. And one of the most, I don't know, a very egregious example of this is like when you're talking to somebody when someone's talking to someone who they clearly think is weird, and they're clearly being patronizing to them, to kind of make themselves relate more to the room, because they think, oh, everybody else must think this person's so weird too, and I think they're really weird. But I'm talking to them because I have to, because I want to be kind and I want to choose kindness. So I'm talking to them because I'm such a nice person, but really I do not want to be talking to them. If you don't want to talk to somebody and you are choosing to do it because it makes yourself look better, you're not doing them a service. You're doing yourself a service. And don't misconstrue that. Don't make yourself think, oh, I'm so nice. Oh, I'm so good. I'm such a legendary human being. No one's ever done this before. I'm changing lives. I'm changing the world. I don't think that's a good thing to do. um, and people feel that, people feel that when you're talking to someone. If you don't want to be talking, that they can feel that. They know. People aren't stupid. Just because you think they're weird doesn't mean they don't know that you think that. It's very clear when you're talking to somebody just to make yourself look better, just because you feel bad for them. Don't talk to someone because you feel bad for them. Talk to someone because you desire to get to know them and you desire true human connection. And See, in me saying this, this is exactly what I was saying. Is I sound like I'm grandstanding. I sound like I think I'm better than everyone, but I do this too. Um, I'm someone who's committed this crime as well. But it upsets me that no one makes mention of it and no one takes accountability for when they do it. Because when I do it, I usually I fess up to it, and I'm honest with myself, and I don't tell myself that I just did a good thing. I tell myself that was kind of shitty. Like, don't do that again. And I then go out of my way to make an effort to treat everyone with true kindness. Not, oh, I'm choosing kindness and it's a fake kindness because I don't really care about this person and it's really hard. I'm doing a really hard thing by being nice to this person because they're so weird and so odd that I just can't imagine anyone ever liking them. And I'm doing such a service. Oh, I'm doing such a great service to the world. I'm going out of my way to decide for myself, this is what I want. I want to get to know people because I care about knowing people, regardless of how weird I think they are, regardless of whether or not they fit into my personal definition of, what's normal or what a person should do. I am going to ask them questions about themselves. I'm going to see if we share any similarities. I'm going to try my best, try my darndest, no matter how odd this person is. I'm going to keep giving them the respect of a human being and listening to the words they say that come out of their mouth, not just talking to them because it's such a privilege to get to talk to me. And I feel that I don't want to say I've been on the other end of it, but I kind of have. And that's, I think, why it irks me a little bit. But what I will say is that it's a hard thing to do. And I admit that it's a hard thing to do. I struggle with it myself, and not everyone can do it as easily as just making a choice. But it's okay to make mistakes, and you shouldn't be afraid to mess up. If you do something wrong, admit to it, move on, and make a change. Do it better next time. Instead of just accepting that you're going to be an asshole. Instead of just accepting, oh yeah, I'm going to pretend to be nice, even if you don't know you're doing it. You're doing it. And oftentimes you do know you're doing it in the back of your head. I have a hard time believing you can't sympathize with other people as a human being. I have a hard time imagining that you have a lack of ability to, at a basic level, understand what another person might be going through, but put yourself in their shoes for a brief moment. And I understand that's hard for some people. So I'm not saying I'm not saying it's easy for everyone to do that, but for many people it is. And for many people, I know that they know they're doing something wrong because I can see it in their face. I can see it in their eyes when they make a rude comment. I can see it in their eyes when they say something because they're trying to appear nice. And they look around like, oh, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that great thing I just did? Look at how awesome I am. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. I wish I had the balls to call him out on it in real life, but I simply don't. And so this brings me to a point that I think about quite frequently, that that's a little tough for me. That I don't know how exactly to describe without sounding weird, or like without sounding like I am trying to be better than I am, because I know I have my faults, and everyone does, and I know I know I struggle with these same things. The only difference that I'd like to think there is that I acknowledge them and I try and make myself better, which is what I hope everyone would do in the world. And unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be the case. But that brings me to, the antithesis, the final point of my of my argument here, or not argument, but my rant, I guess, is that um, when you've experienced someone struggling and when you've witnessed struggle, when you have seen someone in a position where you have the ability to help out and you failed to do so, I don't think you should feel bad about it. I don't think you should think, "Oh man, dude, it was all my fault what happened to that guy." You know? Um and I'll put an example out there. I don't want to say this because I don't I don't want to um I don't want to make it sound like I'm pointing to a specific event or anything. But say like your friend your friend is in a really bad situation, or like is like has a really horrible partner, and and it ends badly for them, and the whole time you knew it would end badly, and they were asking you for advice or whatever, and they were asking you for what should I do, and you didn't tell them, or at least you saw them struggling and you knew you had something to say but you never did, um and it ended really badly for them, and they feel awful about it, and now you feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. That's not what I want. I don't want anyone to feel like, "Oh, I'm such an awful person, I can't believe I did this." What I want, when you make a mistake, when you acknowledge that mistake, I want you to be able to say, "Okay, I'm going to do better next time. I'm going to I'm going to be truly nice to people. I'm going to express love and put positive energy out into the world that's genuine, that's not because everyone says I have to do it. I'm doing it because I want to do it, because it's something that I care about. And if you don't want to do it, don't pretend. Don't pretend. Don't say that you care if you don't care. And if someone happens to experience something that you feel at fault for in some small part, or that you feel you could have changed, don't make it a time for self-pity. Especially when it has to do with someone else. If they are in if they're in the position of suffering, don't make it about you. And there's always an opportunity, no matter what. Always an opportunity to redeem yourself. Even if you cannot get in contact with that person for whatever reason, if that person is a is if your opportunity to talk to that person is gone, there are people around them you can talk to. There are things you can do in their absence, um if you really care. And if you don't, then you don't. And don't pretend. And furthermore, now that you've had this experience, now that you've seen what suffering looks like, now that you've seen what suffering looks like, now that you know what it means for someone to be struggling, and what can come of that, don't let it fly right under your nose. Don't let it. Catch it early and offer your assistance. That's uh I feel like that's a pretty basic thing to ask for. Um yeah, I don't know. I feel like it is. I feel like it is. Um and yet people still don't do it. And I still don't do it, but at least I don't act like I'm at least I don't act like I am. And that's what really hurts. Is when you act like you're such a great person. Don't. Like It hurts me. It hurts me, man. It hurts me. It hurts me. It hurts me. It hurts me. How can you I'm just going to leave you on this. I'm just going to leave you on this note. I'm just going to close out with a little question posed to you. And you can sit on it, you can ruminate, you can do what you will. But I'm just going to ask, how can you continue to have a complete lack of consideration for others and a complete disregard for other people's feelings after having gone through the things that you've seen, after seeing other people suffer, after seeing what being alone can do to someone? I don't know how you can do that. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm posing this question to myself as much as anyone else. I just don't understand why we're like this. I don't. I wish I could flip a switch and be unafraid to just reach out and say, "Hey, I'm here for you. I can, be that shoulder to cry on or whatever you need. I'm here." I'm afraid to say that. We all are afraid to say that. It's an uncomfortable conversation to have because no one wants to acknowledge their fault, especially not the person who is currently struggling. And you don't want to be the guy to bring it up. And they don't want you to be the guy to bring it up sometimes. But someone has to. I think. I don't know. I don't know what's best. I want to start a conversation is what I want. And I want you guys to tell me down in the comments, what is your opinion? What do you think of what I've said here? And I know I've been very broad, but that's because I want it to be applicable to many people in many different situations, and I want everyone to be able to understand what I'm saying. And I hope you were able to. Feel free to ask any questions if you didn't understand. I would be happy to answer that. I just want to, start a conversation. I'm interested to hear what people have to say on this topic. But care for people, man. it's just, think about them and give them the time of day. I think important. All right. Anyway, that's all I got for you. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so very much for your time. I've been Pat Dan. You've been great. And until next time, kick rocks, pal. All right, I'll see you. Bye-bye.